wondering how competitive this Memphis men's basketball team is going to be this season, you're about to find out. The Tigers are about to begin a long and let's call it what it is, tough road trip out west. The 3-0 Tigers tip it off tonight against the 4-0 San Francisco Dons, which means after tonight, one team won't be undefeated anymore. The Tigers are, of course, hoping they'll be the ones to keep the perfect record and take it with them into the Maui Invitational, where they will play the two-time reigning national champs and Cam Spencer's former team in the UConn Huskies, and then either Michigan State or Colorado following that.
Once I look back on the scheduling, man, I was really excited about this stretch because it's the toughest stretch of the year, maybe my toughest in my coaching here at Memphis at San Francisco, who was a really good team, and in the first round of Maui against UConn. So we got to get locked in and be ready to go to work on the road.
Good little stretch here. So San Francisco is a pretty solid team. For those that don't know, very good out there on the West Coast, play very well. And they haven't played a road game yet. They are 4-0, but they've played 4 home games and not even a neutral site game at this point. So this will be kind of an interesting one for Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers. I'm kind of excited to see if they can put together a full game for the first time this season.
Right.
Kind of talking to Tyrese Hunter yesterday while we were talking to Penny Hardaway. He's like, we haven't played a full game yet. They actually have scored 50-plus points in the second half of their first 3 games of the year. It's clear that they can be a second-half team. Maybe they got to feel people out just a little bit, but eventually that's going to come back to bite you, and it could start in a hostile environment on the road, taking on San Francisco, and it'll certainly bite you if you're taking on UConn and the national champs.
Yeah, I mean, with San Francisco, this is a team that can score. They've got a small forward, Tyrone Riley, who's averaging about 20 points a game. He was a 4-star coming out of high school, out of California. They have a very good offensive rating. They score about 113 points per 100 possessions, which is top 50 in the nation. Memphis is right in there, too. Their defensive rating a little bit lower. You're looking at in the 80 to 90 range there. And so Memphis will be able to exploit them, but offensively, this is a game where you cannot have a late start for the Tigers. You got to get out running and gunning, because I think this is going to be a game where we're watching the game and all of a sudden it's 33-32 San Francisco, and then maybe the Tigers will be able to turn the tide, but I think this is going to be a really close game. According to the KenPom rankings, just to give you perspective on where these two teams are, Memphis is 37th of the nation. Really, really tight gap in between 37 and you go all the way down to 25. So they're right on the edge. But same with San Francisco, who's sitting there at 52. If they had won one other, let's say, quad 3 win, they have one quad 3 win against Boise State, you would see them close to Memphis, probably in that 42 range. So yeah, this is a good team.
Yeah, certainly be a motivating factor for San Francisco, not only just to get a win at home, but you're talking about a potential quad 1 win taking on the Memphis Tigers, depending on how the rest of the schedule plays out for both of those teams. So the Dons will be motivated.
Yeah, obviously this game very important for both teams, but to me, when I look at Memphis, this entire stretch is really, really interesting. And the scary thing to me kind of going in is where is the strength of the team in regards to injuries, right? We know that PJ Haggerty and Tyrese Hunter once again weren't training this week. Nick's still dealing with his hip injury. So it's concerning knowing that they're about to go into this long stretch against very good teams, might I add, and not necessarily be at full strength. And I just wonder, okay, it's one thing to hold these guys out of practice and then they come out and deliver an incredible performance like they did against Ohio. They were the 3 leading scorers, the 3 guys that have been injured. But can they play on Saturday and then go into the Maui Invitational and keep playing all these games and stack them up? And it's concerning. Like, what performance are they going to be able to give each game and each night, or are they going to struggle a bit? And if those 3 players aren't on the court and putting up big numbers, especially PJ, it's, well, where does this team stand then? They're not going to be able to go with a team like UConn if those 3 guys aren't playing.
Yeah, PJ's putting up 25 points a game. He's actually the 7th leading scorer in the entire country right now. And I agree with you both. I think that kind of goes into the second half team. Is like, because they're not practicing right all the way up until the game. And to Penny Hardaway's point, we're trying to manage their bodies as much as possible. You're keeping them off their feet. You're allowing them to not re-aggravate things in a practice setting. But what happens is, okay, well, now I kind of get my feet under me in that first half, and once that happens, you get to the little halftime break. Okay, I got my breath, and now I can go into the second half feeling like, hey, I'm ready to go out here and dominate. But I wonder how rusty will they be against teams that are going to be much better defensively than I think some of the other teams they've seen so far to start the season. Not to say Penny Hardaway hasn't put together a great non-conference schedule. They haven't played any cupcake games yet here to start the season. So I am interested to see how well those guys play when they get to going again. Tyrese Hunter, 16 of his 21 points was in the second half against Ohio, and that was his best game of the year. So let's see what they're able to do with these injuries.
Y'all are worried.
Nicky-nack, ticky-tack stuff.
Y'all are worried. You know who's not worried? This guy right here.
Yeah.
And Penny Hardaway.
Okay.
I'll be in the same camp with Penny Hardaway.
It's hard to be worried with the corduroy, my boy. You looking real good.
Yeah, just day shirt, just busted
I
out.
don't know.
He did try on a vest before, and
Oh,
I told him no.
Why do you have to run the swag?
Hey, man.
I did. I looked like I should have had a cowbell in my hand, winging it like I was at a Mississippi State game.
He put it on, and I just said no.
Yeah, I was happy. Yeah, that vest look was not. You've got to be. A vest it has to be very subtle. Like
Right.
you can't have the finance bro vest on.
It's true.
If you do, you got to be yoked.
I mean,
too,
it was
at the
given
same time.
North Face to your point about campus.
Yeah, it was
Right.
Anyway, you're not worried.
Right, I'm not worried.
Go ahead.
I'm not
Finish your
worried
point. Sorry.
because I think that we've seen this ideal Tigers team, and I think we really saw it during that Ohio game. Not just in the second half; they obviously played really well in the second half, but we saw it. It's close to a full game in that Ohio game, and they're just kind of working out the kinks against UNLV and Missouri. But if you're going to, I'm not saying that y'all are saying this, but even though those two guys are not practicing, you're telling me PJ and Tyrese aren't doing little shooting competitions after practice? Like, Penny's going to say that, but they're staying warm. And also, I mean, they were at the Warriors game the other night, watching Steph Curry. PJ shouted out Steph Curry, getting that they're going to play at the Chase Center, that same spot. You're telling me Penny didn't go say, hey, y'all want to go meet Steph Curry? You want to meet Brandon Pajemski, Draymond Green?
Come on, dog.
Yeah, Brandon Pajemski. A lot of people, he's like, what?
West Coast legend.
Yes.
Actually, Brandon Pajemski.
78 rating on 2K. That's nothing to sneeze at. I think these guys are going to be motivated. And then when you go to Maui, it's hard to kind of get motivated for a team like Missouri and UNLV a little bit, in my opinion. When you're in Maui, you stay focused. As long as you stay focused, stay off the beach. You're playing UConn. These guys are competitive, extremely competitive, and I think this is a chance for this type of atmosphere to unleash their true potential.
Right, you beat UConn. You're talking about potentially playing Michigan State. I think Colorado may be in that same side of the bracket with them. Also in this tournament, Iowa State, not Ohio State, Dayton, and North Carolina. Definitely some heavy hitters in this one. I think this is a West Coast road trip that these guys are really excited about. You talk about Penny. He's saying might be the toughest stretch of my career. That is saying something because he's put together some non-con schedules that have been nothing to sneeze at either, especially last year. That was a really, really, really good non-con schedule. So for him to say this stretch is going to be a really tough one and one he's been looking forward to actually really means something.
I'm not worried about the fact they haven't been practicing. That's fine to me because they proved that against Ohio, that they don't need to practice to still be really good players. My concern is if they don't have the ability to practice right now because of the injuries, how are they going to do this stretch where they're playing the most games that they've had to play in the start of the season? That's what I'm concerned about, is will their body hold up through these games against these really good teams?
Potentially 4 games in 7 days if they make it through that bracket. It's a wear and tear on your body, certainly.